terms of ageism, is it real? I think
Yes,
it is. It's something that many employers will not admit to.
Okay.
But sometimes it's a subconscious bias as well.
Today we have a question on ageism. Now, this question was sent in by our listener Kelvin. Kelvin saw an Instagram post and it advised not to reveal your graduation year in your resume, and I guess LinkedIn as well, because he said ageism is real. Now, Gerald, is that tip valid?
In terms of ageism, is it real? I think
Yes.
it is. It's something that many employers will not admit to.
Okay.
But sometimes it's a subconscious bias as well.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
okay.
Like imagine if your interview panel, all of them are younger than your candidate. Right? There's already something that may work in the minds of the interviewer, right? My personal view is, you know what? It doesn't really matter whether you put there or not. If you put it in there, the concern here is people can infer your age, right?
Yes.
But there are also many other ways that people can infer your age from your work experiences or your past job experiences. They can tell how many years you have worked. Some people say, maybe the earlier ones I'll hide. Then I'll put the more later ones. But then you also can total up, the number of years you work. They can kind of guess,
Yes.
right? I would even say sometimes even from the name,
Yeah.
you can also guess the age.
I see, like a Lawrence.
Yeah,
You kind of know
names,
of which vintage they
yes, there
are.
are some names that are very Gen Z,
Yes,
and there are
yes.
some names that are a bit older. There are lots of ways to discriminate against people
If they
of
want
the
to,
age,
right?
from the resume.
So obviously, if this is coming from a point of view, is that if recruiters really wanted to discriminate you, there are a lot of I guess markers that they can use
Yes.
to already look out for these signs.
The only advice I'll give is for resume writing, maybe don't put in your primary school living cert year, your secondary school.
Why not? I'm very proud of my
Yeah.
primary school.
Maybe you are the kind that got very high scores, or your
Yeah.
primary school is
Valedictorian.
your primary school is very branded kind.
Oh.
But typically employers just want to see like the latest qualification you
Yeah.
have, the highest one.
The highest one, yeah.
Maybe the top two, maybe your diploma or your JC or something. But you don't have to put all the way back, because I've seen some people who really put all the way in primary school and then the year really looks very, very long time ago. Right? So then that sets like, okay,
Yeah.
like too long already.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
But
yes.
if you're let's say getting your degree or your diploma at a certain year in the past, I think people can still accept that if it's the only number there lah. So don't put too many numbers. I think also we need to give recruiters more credit for what they do. They don't really just look at they don't look at every resume and see which year, then try to penalize people. They don't really do that. They try to look for the quality of the resume, what the person has done, what the person wants to do, what the person is good at doing, what's the value that they can bring forward in a company. So what they're looking for in a resume is coherence, right? Like exactly if I take a 7-second glance of your resume, right, I know what you can do very clearly, right? If today that thing comes up more clearly, then all these other things about the year, it will be very arbitrary.
For example, if I'm a recruiter and I know that the salary I'm going to be paying for this job is very entry level, and then I have somebody already in their 40s, then I know that this person is going to try and negotiate with me, and we're going to get into a very long process during the interview process about how to give more salary. Or even if this person says yes to this entry level salary, because they've had so many years working, they might not stay.
So when they look at the resume, they assess the value of what they're getting, and then they also have to look back at, for example, what they're willing to pay. Right? What's the budget for their role? Yes, they will have that kind of consideration. They might also consider things like the fit. For example, your job titles. If today you have been leading teams, but this entry level role doesn't allow you or doesn't require you to lead teams. One concern would be like, would you be able to be a team player instead of being a team leader?
So like you say, they will look at your past experience rather than the year of graduation.
Yes,
because
correct.
the year of graduation, by the sounds of it, doesn't really play so big a factor, because what else can it tell you except the fact that you are young or you are older?
Yes, correct. So eventually, at some point, they're going to find out your age anyway.
That's true.
So if today you put it in there, and if they discriminate you based on that age thing, then might as well, because you're not going to get a job anyway. Because when they're going to see you and interview, they're going to realize that, hey, you're not quite what I expected you to be.
Yeah.
And they are going to turn you on. So it's maybe better not to work for the company.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
I would say don't worry too much about putting in the numbers of your graduation year. What you want to use your resume for, the emphasis of it is to really present the value of what you want to do and make sure it's coherent. Because most people in their resumes, they want to put in everything that they have done before. But what we want to show is the best bits of what we can do, and in a manner that is coherent. That means once we read in 8 seconds, we know what this person can do.
Going back to the question that we said earlier on, is ageism real? We're going to have an episode on that. We're going to talk about workplace discrimination, and that's coming up soon. If you have a work-related question, do continue to send to us. We are at cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, where a video version of this is at.
I'm Gerald.
And I'm Tiffany. Have a super work week ahead.